Hi, welcome to Diamond Delight Edibles. My name is Liz if this is the first time you're joining, and if you're a regular subscriber, welcome back. Guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. So today I thought I would do something fun, Cannabutter birthday cake fudge with sprinkles. And who doesn't like birthday cake and sprinkles? I mean, that's just a great combination. It's just fun to eat. Well, I'm guessing maybe if you had some childhood trauma that you wanted to be a cupcake or something and you covered yourself in icing and sprinkles, went outside and got attacked by ants and bees, maybe you won't like ice cream or birthday cake and sprinkles. But other than that, I gotta think most people, it just makes you happy. So I decided to put this recipe together for you here, and without any further waste of time here, get right into the ingredients and then how we make it. Alrighty, so for our birthday cake fudge, you're going to need 2 cups of chopped up white chocolate, or 340 grams, or 12 ounces. 2 tablespoons of Cannabutter, 1 can, 10 ounces of the, sweetened condensed milk. Now, normally the recipes call for 14, so I do have extra, but I'm going to try it with 10 first to see, because I found with the 14 it tended to be a little bit too soft. So I'm going to try it with 10, but I've got the 14 here in case needed. You'll need a half a cup of birthday cake mix, or funfetti, or some type of cake mix like that. You will need 3 tablespoons of sprinkles. See, sprinkles, they just make everything fun. 1.5 tablespoons of vanilla. You're going to need a double boiler and a parch lined pan, the square 9x9 pan. And what I do to make it easier for the parchment to lay is I cut my corners. So I get the square and then I cut the corners in like that. In like that, and then it just then sits into your pan, and you just tuck the edges in so, and then that way it sits nicely in the pan. And then you can just use a little bit of the condensed milk to tack down your edges. And that's it. We'll get started in getting this all together and making some birthday cake fudge. Alright, so just one thing before we do get started. Very, very important when working with chocolate, whether it's white, dark, milk, any kind of chocolate. Water is its mortal enemy. So you want to make sure that everything that you are using is 100% dry. And I tend to like to use rubber spatulas versus a wooden spoon, because wooden spoons tend to hold moisture. And any bit of moisture will seize your chocolate. Alright, so let's get started. We're gonna set our heat to medium low. We're gonna put in our chocolate. I'm gonna put in our condensed milk. Alright, so just a little clear up here. If you're Canadian, our cans are 10 ounces, 300 milliliters. If you're American, your cans are 14 ounces. So you're either going to want to take out 14 ounces, or sorry, take out 4 ounces, I apologize, to use the 10, or Canadians, just 1 can. And we're going to add in our 2 tablespoons of Cannabutter. And again, your butter, you want it to be at least a slightly warm or room temperature. You don't want to add anything really cold into the chocolate. It will seize the chocolate. Chocolate is very temperamental. We're just going to get that stirred together. And then I'm just going to wait for the chocolate to begin to melt. And then we're just going to continue stirring. So you want to wait for the chocolate to, you don't want to keep stirring now, you want to wait till the chocolate begins to melt and then start stirring. It'll assist in the melting, but if you start stirring too quickly, it actually takes it longer. Alright, so as your chocolate is beginning to melt, you want to start stirring it around and getting everything mixed together. And you just want to keep gently stirring and folding it over, and this assists in the melting because you're pulling the warm from the bottom onto the top, and that helps to melt everything. And if you notice your chocolate at all sticking to the bottom, turn down your heat. If it actually is sticking, you can turn the heat off and just continue stirring on the hot water. And then remember, always chocolate, regardless of what chocolate you're working with, it is very delicate and burns very easily. So you always want to do it slower than quicker. I never recommend turning up the heat to try and do it quicker. You know, it seems like a good idea, but it usually fails. And you always want to keep stirring so that all your chocolate is the same temperature, that the bottom's not hotter than the top. So you always want to keep bringing it from the bottom up to the top, folding it over, stirring it around. And then once everything is melted, you're going to continue to stir it for a minute or two, just to make sure everything is, as I said, everything has to be the same temperature and fully incorporated. If it begins to start to dull at all, stop stirring. It went too far. Alright, so once everything is melted, you're going to add in your 1/2 cup of your cake mix, 2 tablespoons of sprinkles, and 1.5 teaspoons of your vanilla. You're going to mix everything in until it is all again mixed in and incorporated, and until the cake batter is all moistened. And that's about it. I want it to look like that, all incorporated. You don't see any cake bits. And now we're just going to pour it into our pan. Alright, so we got our pan, our parched line pan ready. Don't get any water in it. Okay, so we're going to pour our fudge into our pan. I just want to even her out. And you're going to put that into the fridge for a couple of hours to set. And then we'll come back, cut her up. Oh, I apologize. Sorry, 1 second. And we're going to add an additional tablespoon of sprinkles over the top. See, isn't that fun? Sprinkles just make everything fun. And you can add them a little more or less. It's not a die-hard of 1 tablespoon. It's not going to do anything. I figure the more sprinkles, the better. Now I'm going to put that in the fridge for a couple of hours to set, and we'll come back and we'll cut that up. Alrighty, so I do apologize. I fibbed there a little. It took a little bit longer than 2 hours. I actually had to let this sit overnight for it to completely set. So we're ready to take her out. And you just take that off. Now, if your parchment paper does stick, just try to gently peel it off and then turn it upside down, let it dry out a little bit before you cut it. And then one of the things, I use one of these scraper cutters, and it works great because you can measure it out nicely. Yeah, I stole a little piece. I had to try it. And yeah, so you just make your little cuts. And remember, fudge is very rich, so you don't want to make overly huge pieces. Well, not very, it's very hard to be cutting. And once you have all your fudge pieces there, you're just going to individually wrap them, or you can, if you're gonna, you can just put them on a plate and wrap the whole plate in saran wrap, or to store them longer, just wrap them individually. Wrap them. You want to make sure that it's snug, like so. And there you go. You've got Cannabutter birthday fudge with sprinkles. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that demonstration. And I'll be back to say goodbye. And that's everything. Oh, and then just to let you know, dosing wise, my THC when I started with was about a 20%. So it's going to make these in and around, I did 12 pieces. So it's, yeah. So it's going to be, they'll be in and around 25 30 milligrams per square. All right, and that's everything. I hope you enjoyed that, and let me know how yours turns out. So that is my little tutorial on Cannabutter birthday cake fudge. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to put them in the comments. And if this is the first time you're watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you subscribe. And that's all I've got for you today. Thanks again for watching. You have a wonderful rest of your day.